Hello everyone, I am back with another video today. Today we are making the hedgehogs. This will be our second recipe from the 1920s chapter. I've never made hedgehogs before, so I am really looking forward to giving this a try. Um, they look pretty simple to make. It does look like there is an hour chill time like the last recipe. Um, I really don't have much else to say for this recipe this week. So let's get started. All right, so for the hedgehogs, we have some coconut here. I am using just regular coconut in these because that's all I have access to where I'm at. The recipe does call for desiccated coconut, which is a very dry, unsweetened coconut. Unfortunately, I cannot get that where I am, so I am just going to use the regular coconut that I had on hand. It is sweetened, but I'm sure it's going to be fine anyway. We've got some brown sugar, we've got eggs, some chopped dates, and some walnuts. Um, I am going to start by mixing the dates and the walnuts in my blender. Um, if you have a food processor, the steps are a little bit different because you can kind of mix everything up with the exception of one of the eggs and some of the coconut all up in the food processor. I don't have a big enough food processor to mix all this together, so I am going to follow the steps that he gave for using a blender. So once I have those all um, chopped together and mixed together into like a fine paste, I will be back. All right, so I've got that all mixed together. We're going to add one of the eggs and the brown sugar, and we are also going to add, oops, not the other egg. We're going to add some of the coconut. I'm going to get this all mixed up together, and I will be back. All right, so I've got my dough done. I'm going to divide this into 4 parts and roll each one into a log. Once I have the logs rolled out, I will show you guys what they look like. All right, so I have my logs rolled out. I don't know if I got them rolled out as long as he said, but they're pretty close. The book says you should get um, 4 15-inch um, pieces of dough um, at about 1 inch in diameter. I don't think mine are quite 15 inches, but it is pretty close, maybe 10 or 12 inches. It's going to be fine. I'm okay with it if it doesn't make quite as many. Um, I am going to put these in going to cover them and put them in the refrigerator. They do need to chill for about an hour, and then I've got to bake them. Once that hour is up, we will roll them in the other egg and the rest of the coconut and pop them in the oven, and I will be back. All right, so I just took these out of the refrigerator. I am going to get these cut, and once they are cut, I'm going to dip them in the egg and then the remaining coconuts and put them back on the cookie sheet. Once I have them ready to go in the oven, I will show you what they look like. All right, so I have my first pan ready to go. I've got all my dough cut. I've got these dipped in the egg and coconuts. I'm going to pop these into the oven while I finish getting the other ones ready to go. When these are done, we will check them out. All right, so I did take these out of the oven. I did bake these longer than what the book said, and they do look better now than after the bake time written in the book. I'm hoping they're done. Um, I'm going to let them cool a little bit, and after they're cold, I'm going to give them a try, and I will be back with my final thoughts. Okay, so I am back with my final thoughts on the hedgehogs. Um, I thought they tasted really good. They had a really good flavor. However, I really did not like making them. I thought the dough was a little bit hard to work with. It kept wanting to fall apart while I was making the logs and dipping it in the eggs and the coconut. I did use an extra egg and some extra coconut for the dipping because what the recipe called for was not enough. I don't know if I was putting too much on while I was dipping them or what happened with them, but I did use extra, which is no big deal, but still wanted to throw that out there. Um, yeah, my biggest complaint about this recipe was just working with the dough itself. Everything else was really easy, um, but the dough was not wanting to stick together as I was working with it. Um, so that for me was just something that I did not like. Um, and I probably won't make these a lot. Um, if I do make them again, I might try rolling them in balls and dipping them and seeing if they stick together better that way. Because I do have to say, as I was working with the pieces that I cut, my natural reaction was just to roll it in a ball and then dip it in there. So I don't know if they would turn out better that way or if I would like working with it better that way. But they did taste really good. If you do have this cookbook, give them a try and see how you like them, see how you like working with them and everything. They are worth making, but just know that the dough can be kind of difficult to work with um, and everything. So that is going to wrap up the hedgehogs. Next week, we will be back with um, a muffin recipe from Baking Yesteryear. It is the maple squash gems, which I'm really looking forward to. Muffins are something new for us on this channel. I have not done a muffin yet, so that will be exciting to try. Please like this video if you liked it. Please share it. Please make sure you're subscribed. And until next week, good times, good food. Bye.